Should Americans plan to receive those checks in 2026?
That's going to depend on what happens with Congress. Congress is going to have to send those money to those people. But the thing we can say is that since July, we've had a lot of positive news about the economy. We've had a couple of quarters of almost 4% growth. We've got a big government surplus, actually, running for a few months in a row. The deficit relative to last year is down by $600 billion.
Good evening, Retiree Talk viewers. This is Carolina with a breaking news update on the proposed 2,000 stimulus checks. The White House and the Trump team have provided the latest responses right now. Based on multiple sources, research, and official statements, here are the critical details affecting millions of Americans, especially retirees, SSI, and SSDI recipients waiting for potential relief. We break down what is known today, what remains under discussion, and why this matters urgently as we approach 2026. Let's start with the facts on this proposed $2,000 payment. President Trump has discussed using revenue from tariffs to provide direct relief to Americans, describing it as a dividend or rebate. In statements from November and December 2025, the administration has referenced amounts around $2,000 for moderate and lower income individuals, excluding higher earners. White House officials, including economic advisors, have indicated the president remains committed to exploring this option. However, based on reports from sources like the Treasury Department and administration spokespersons, any such payment would require congressional approval and legislation. Right now, no bill has been passed, and no payments are scheduled or being distributed. To provide context, this idea draws from past economic relief efforts. During the COVID-19 period, 3 rounds of stimulus checks were authorized by Congress and signed into law, up to $200 in 2020, $600 later that year, and $1,400 in 2021. Those payments went directly to millions, including retirees on Social Security, SSI recipients, and SSDI beneficiaries, often automatically through existing records. Since then, no 4th federal stimulus round has been approved. Some state-level rebates or tax credits have occurred, but nothing nationwide like the previous programs. The current discussion stems from tariff policies implemented in 2025, which have generated revenue estimates around $195 billion in fiscal year 2025, according to Treasury data. The proposal aims to return some of that revenue to Americans as direct payments. Administration comments suggest targeting middle and lower income households, potentially families earning under $100,000 annually, though exact thresholds remain unspecified. Why does this matter to retirees and fixed income Americans? Many on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI face ongoing costs from inflation in food, healthcare, and utilities. Even small additional relief could help with monthly budgets. However, sources emphasize that feasibility depends on economic projections, congressional action, and balancing with other priorities like debt reduction. Recent statements from advisors like Kevin Hassett indicate a formal proposal could come in the new year, but timing remains uncertain. No payments are expected before 2026 based on available information. Now, let's examine in more detail how these potential $2,000 payments could function if the proposal advances and receives congressional approval. Based on discussions from administration officials and comparisons to previous economic relief programs, the distribution process would likely follow established methods used by the IRS and Social Security Administration to ensure efficient delivery to millions of eligible Americans. For individuals who already have direct deposit information on file, either from recent tax returns or ongoing benefit payments, the funds would arrive automatically via electronic transfer into their bank accounts, minimizing delays and paperwork. Those without direct deposit on record might receive traditional paper checks mailed to their address on file, while many low-income beneficiaries particularly those on programs like SSI or using prepaid debit options, could see the amount loaded directly onto Direct Express cards, a secure government-issued card commonly used for federal payments to avoid issues with banking access. Eligibility criteria appear to center on income levels, drawing from patterns in past stimulus efforts where payments were designed to provide targeted relief. Sources indicate a focus on lower and middle-income households, potentially with full amounts available to those below certain thresholds, such as family incomes under $100,000, as mentioned in some advisory comments, while higher earners could see phased out or reduced benefits, or exclusion altogether to prioritize support for those most impacted by economic pressures. This approach aims to direct aid where it's needed most, similar to prior rounds that adjusted amounts based on adjusted gross income from tax filings. For specific groups like retirees receiving Social Security retirement benefits, SSDI recipients with disability payments, or those on SSI for supplemental income support, the process could be largely automatic. In previous distributions, these individuals often qualified without additional applications because their information was already verified through government databases, allowing seamless integration with existing payment systems and reducing the burden on vulnerable populations who may face challenges with new forms or online submissions. If a similar streamlined method is adopted here, it would mean no extra paperwork or claims required for the majority in these categories, ensuring quicker access to any approved funds while maintaining accuracy through cross-reference records from the IRS and SSA. Timing expectations for this proposed $2,000 stimulus payment remain focused on 2026 rather than any immediate distribution in late 2025. Administration comments, including those from economic advisors and White House spokespersons in recent weeks, have consistently pointed to a potential rollout sometime in 2026, with possibilities ranging from mid-year to later, depending entirely on legislative progress. Recent updates as of December 2025 indicate that a formal proposal could be sent to Congress early in the new year, likely in the first quarter, to begin the budgeting and approval process. Multiple sources emphasize that no payments are expected before or during the holiday season of 2025, as the necessary congressional authorization and funding allocation have not yet occurred. The emphasis is clearly on careful planning and implementation in 2026 to ensure alignment with broader fiscal priorities. Different scenarios depend heavily on congressional action. If lawmakers move quickly with bipartisan support, payments could potentially roll out in phases, starting with those who have direct deposit information on file with the IRS or Social Security Administration, followed by paper checks or prepaid cards. In cases of delay due to debates over scope, cost, or competing priorities, the distribution might stretch well into late 2026 or beyond. Policy context involves balancing projected tariff revenue against overall economic goals, with some estimates suggesting current and future revenue could cover only a portion of a broad nationwide program, necessitating careful targeting or scaling. White House statements have stayed neutral on exact details, repeatedly describing the idea as one of several options under active exploration. Treasury officials have reinforced that any such initiative requires explicit legislation from Congress, and ongoing revenue projections play a key role in determining feasibility. For seniors and low-income Americans receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, this proposed payment, if approved, would serve as separate, one-time financial support and would not affect or replace regular monthly benefits. Importantly, it remains entirely distinct from the already confirmed 2.8% cost of living adjustment, COLE, for 2026, which is locked in and will automatically increase benefits starting with January 2026 payments for most recipients and as early as the December 31st, 2025 deposit for those on SSI. This COLA adjustment is guaranteed regardless of any stimulus discussions, providing a predictable annual boost to help offset inflation in essentials like food, housing, and medical care. Let's analyze what this could mean if it moves forward. On personal finances, a one-time $2,000 could cover several months of groceries, utilities, or medical copays for many on fixed incomes. For SSI recipients with strict asset limits, it might offer breathing room without long-term disruptions. For SSDI households, it could help with disability-related expenses. Millions affected right now by rising costs could see direct relief. State-level variations, some states supplement federal benefits or have their own rebates, but this proposal is federal. No state mandates mentioned. Insider research and cross-references from economic analysts and nonpartisan organizations highlight a significant gap in funding for the proposed $2,000 stimulus or tariff dividend payments. While tariff revenue reached approximately $195 billion in fiscal year 2025, with some reports citing figures up to $216 billion or more by late in the year. Estimates for a full program's costs, depending on the breadth of eligibility, such as including adults only or families with children, and income thresholds around $100,000, range widely from $300 billion for a more limited distribution targeting about 150 million qualifying adults, to as high as $600 billion or more for a broader rollout that encompasses dependents and wider coverage, potentially creating a substantial shortfall that could require additional borrowing, revenue projections over multiple years, with long-term forecasts up to $3 trillion over a decade, or offsets from other budgetary sources. If you are on SSI or SSDI and relying on fixed income benefits, this potential update could meaningfully alter your January finances by providing an extra one-time influx of funds early in 2026 if timed to align with legislative approval and distribution, offering a buffer to help bridge gaps before or alongside the standard 2.8% Social Security COLA increase that begins in January for most recipients, or as early as the December 31st, 2025 payment for SSI, potentially easing pressures from ongoing expenses like utilities, groceries, or medical co-pays without affecting ongoing benefit amounts. For retirees more broadly, combining any such payment with regular Social Security or pension benefits could provide welcome relief to stretched household budgets amid persistent cost of living challenges. Though key questions linger around tax treatment, similar to past COVID-era stimulus checks, which were generally non-taxable and did not count as income for benefit eligibility tests. On a broader scale, economists present mixed perspectives on the overall impact. Some view it as targeted household relief that directly returns tariff-generated funds to Americans facing higher import costs indirectly passed on through prices, while others caution about risks of renewed inflationary pressures, echoing effects seen in prior stimulus rounds, increased federal debt if revenue falls short, or opportunity costs versus priorities like deficit reduction, with the administration consistently emphasizing the goal of redistributing tariff proceeds back to the public as a form of economic dividend. What should viewers do right now, especially with all the discussion around this proposed $2,000 stimulus or tariff dividend check? The most important step is to stay patient and monitor only the official government sources, because as of December 24th, 2025, nothing has been officially approved, no legislation has been passed by Congress, and no payments are being prepared or distributed. There is no need to take any immediate action like applying, registering, or providing information anywhere, since this remains a proposal under discussion by the administration and would require congressional approval before anything could move forward. Instead, regularly check reliable sites such as IRS.gov for any future announcements related to tax refunds, rebates, or economic payments, and SSA. Gov for updates on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI benefits that might intersect with any new relief programs. These official websites are the only places where accurate, verified information will appear if and when a program is enacted, helping you avoid confusion from rumors or unofficial reports circulating online. To help you track your personal situation effectively, I strongly recommend creating or logging into your free My Social Security account at SSA. Gov, if you receive any benefits, this secure portal lets you view your exact benefit amounts, payment history, and any updates directly from the Social Security Administration without needing to call or wait on hold. Similarly, for tax-related records or potential refund information, use the IRS online tools at IRS. Gov, such as the Where's My Refund feature or your individual taxpayer account, to stay on top of your filing status and any credits. On the critical side of avoiding common and dangerous mistakes, never share your personal information, including Social Security number, bank details, or Medicare info, in response to unsolicited calls, texts, emails, or messages claiming to be about stimulus eligibility, advance registration, or payment processing, because legitimate government payments never require upfront fees, personal data submissions through unofficial channels, or payments to unlock funds. Scammers are already taking advantage of the publicity around this proposal, so always verify directly through official Gov sites and report suspicious contacts to the FTC or IRS to protect yourself and others. By following these steps, you'll be prepared if anything develops while staying safe in the meantime. For all Social Security, tax, and economic updates, always rely on official sources. SSA Gov, Social Security details, payment schedules, and benefit updates. IRS Gov, tax-related guidance, credits, and stimulus information. Treasury. Gov, economic updates and government announcements. Beware of rumors or unverified claims about immediate payments. Always verify directly on official government websites before taking any action. Protect yourself and your loved ones from misinformation. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with Retiree Talk. Subscribe now and click the bell to get every critical update the moment it drops. Share this video with family and friends to help them avoid mistakes and stay safe. This is Carolina, bringing you research-based, complete coverage on today's proposed stimulus developments. Don't miss a single update. Your retirement planning depends on staying informed. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Always verify information directly from official government sources such as SSA, Gov, IRS Gov, and Treasury. Gov before taking any action.